Hello, my beautiful subscribers. Sure. Okay, never mind. In or out. He's staying in. Hello, my beautiful subscribers. It is once again Tavion here talking to you for whatever reason that I am. And, this is my video, and it is my 24th subscriber special. As I walk into my happy place, my garage, not really just my quiet place, so I guess, and then my happy place, I will recite to you something I wrote. And it will probably be on my Instagram. Well, it will be on my Instagram, and now it'll be on my YouTube. And I guess I have no topic, but it's okay because you don't always need a topic to have a good story, right? And so if I wanted to talk about anything to you guys, it is finding yourself and finding who you are. I could talk about a million things, to be honest. But I really like this one because I feel like I'm on this one. And that is finding yourself in the other things and the other people, mostly the other people in this world. Because a lot of us, unfortunately, do not know who we are. And I feel like I should stop talking about this, because I don't really have it down and I don't want to ramble. But then again, here I am rambling. I feel like a lot of people do not know who we are truly and what makes us happy and what paints the smiles on our faces. And a lot of us rely on other people, things, gadgets, electronics to bring that to us. And it's very sad because when I want to FaceTime or talk to my friend, she's watching an Instagram video on Wiz Khalifa taking his lie detector test, which was a very funny video. I have seen it, but yeah, it just sucks to know that some of our interactions and some of our people are taken away, and you can definitely see that in our younger generations. Not even our babies, but the people that may be 1 year younger than you, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you know the drill. And it sucks because although they give us live feelings, they come through a digital means, and we live with other people in the world. You know, we are social humans, social beings, or whatever, and we thrive off of each other. Because if no one made it Wiz Khalifa or that video or that YouTuber, your favorite YouTuber, let alone if anyone made them, if no one made the platform that you watch that digital thing on, what would you be doing right now? Well, you would probably be interacting with a human being just like you're interacting with me on this platform. It's crazy. It's all a big circle. You know, it all revolves around each other. We all revolve around each other. And when we lose that physical touch, we start to lose that emotional touch, that psychological touch with our other human beings. And why does it feel like I'm talking to one subscriber when I should be talking to everyone? But like I said, it all revolves around each other. And so then I am talking to every single one of the persons that are viewing to me. Because I am. And maybe I should stop walking in the circle and talk about this poem that I wrote. Or maybe I will talk about it before I say it. That's one thing I don't get to do, or one thing I don't usually do. Yeah, let me sit down and actually look at it. So maybe I can talk about it for a little bit. Because the hardest part of, maybe not the hardest, but one of the challenging things about a poem is trying to decipher what the poet is trying to say. And I think that is also a really fun thing to do. One thing, it's crazy, all my 19 years going on 20 years of living, I love the darkness, and I would rather be in the darkness than in the light. But as of yesterday, I guess I still like being in the dark, 'cause that's how I go to sleep, right? I also now love being in the light, and not the spiritual light and the mental light, I mean the physical light. The physical light, maybe because it brings me to sunlight, just like, not natural sunlight, but even our artificial sunlight. Maybe it's because it reminds me of that. Right now, I truly don't know. I know I still like the color black, and I still like darkness. But I have felt a sudden pull, or a subtle, guess not so subtle urge to the light. And maybe that's what my poem's about. We're gonna see. Yes, it is, because funny enough, I am talking about my poem without even knowing I am. And as I open my handy dandy iPhone, look at that, that's a good one. As I open my handy dandy iPhone, I don't really care if you see me. It's nice to look at stuff. I really don't care as long as you're listening. That's all that really matters. But we gonna do it anyways, because I know there's a lot of people that like to see. So, boom, right on the tire, just like last video. Does that look a little different? Talking a little different. And let me bring up my poem. Hello, I did not get to say my hello and how are yous, even though I can't really answer back when you say that. I just titled it April because it's April, and this is Poetry Month in April. I'm born in April. Honestly, no surprise. And here I go. Alright, this is probably not going to be as well as it is on my finalized IG video or whatever. But here you get to read it from me live, first time to you guys. It is Poetry Day. I am the Poetry Month. Why do I neglect myself? It is Poetry Day. I am the Poetry Month. Why do I neglect myself? One more time. It is Poetry Day. I am the Poetry Month. Tavion, why do you neglect yourself? Why do I neglect myself? Lose my mind in the apps just to neglect myself, so I don't get too high and try to respect myself. Look at the blood and the sky and try to lend some help. I hope you're listening. In my application, I look and fend from self. so I do not breed hate the way I was taught, the negativity I would send myself. I'm tired of you bleeding. I want to see you represent yourself. God, I got lost. Hey human, I can see you, and I just sent myself. Long time in the tornado, may I ascend myself. From your lovely beating eyes, I reinvent myself. From overdosing and withdrawals, I will mend myself. Recovering addict from a very, 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 very serious drug. I didn't write that. I'll see how many varies I actually do put in the poem. It was only one. Recovering addict from a very serious drug. How addicted I was. Euphoria from hugs. Overdosed on love. Love for another and neglect myself. Put my feelings to the ocean when you need me to send myself. Gave you my feelings, the worth in myself. Then you threw me from the ceiling, and I saw the worst in myself. But a Saiyan fights as hard as he was hurt himself, and the saints that are still praying were beaten first in hell. I can't believe I'd say thank you to the ghost of my abuse. I never thought I'd say thank you and have a boast to you. And so since I'm recording here, and this isn't just for the poem, and maybe I should do this, decipher my own poems. It is Poetry Day, and I am the Poetry Month. Today is a day in April, and April, me, I am an April baby, am the Poetry Month. Line 2. Why do I neglect myself? Why do you neglect yourself, viewer? That is such a good one, and maybe that's why I said it 3 or 4 times. We fall into these habits, and we don't know why. Let me stop the rhyme. This is not the time. This is the time to delve into my lines. The reasons for the lines. The reasons for I. Okay, I am serious this time. It's like we don't know why we neglect ourselves. We don't know why we fall into our bad habits, and that's why we do them. Because we don't really know when we do them, and we don't really know why we do them. So I ask myself, why do I neglect myself? Hopefully searching for an answer. I may have found a little bit. Stupid charger, stupid iPhone. Why don't I just have a notebook? Maybe because I was born in 2000. Lose my mind in the apps just to neglect myself. I lose my mind and my time, my mind, and my rhyme just to neglect myself. And it says, so I don't get too high, try to respect myself. Look at the blood in the sky and try to lend some help. I know I do have a good voice, thank you. Lose my mind in the apps just to neglect myself. I waste all my time on these applications just like one you're using right now. Losing my mind in the applications, just like the ones you're using right now. Not to say that it's always a bad thing. I feel like there isn't just negativity on our platforms. Um, but there is a lot of wasted time and wasted potential that we spend quote unquote entertaining ourselves, you know, instead of focusing on what really matters. Not to say that these things don't matter. This thing that I'm holding in my hand, these words are very beautiful, and I get a lot of inspiration, especially from you guys. This is how we communicate. It's different, and in a way, it sucks. But hey, I can't change it. I can't change the majority. I can only change myself. Then I say, so I don't get too high and try to respect myself. And when I say that, I mean too high, as in too high, too enlightened, too elevated, think myself high enough to try and respect myself and not give away all my power in some selfie that I took to send to some people that don't matter, or so I don't try and brag about my possessions, my possessions and my money and my looks and my boyfriend or girlfriend, to try and find some value in me when all the value is in me and not through you. You feel that, YouTube? So I don't get too high and try to respect myself, to try and give myself the time instead of timelines and confide and hide in some application, and try to represent myself as a human being and stand for what I believe and try and reach for the things that I know that I can achieve. Look at the blood in the sky and try to lend some help. To look at the very obvious problems in our world in the sky. Blood in the sky. Look in the sky and I see red. Thank you, Kellen. No, thank you, Vic. Thank you for the song that low-key opened my eyes a little bit, pierced the veil. Look at the blood in the sky and try to lend some help. The sky ideally should be blue in daytime. And I look in the sky and I see the world, and therefore I see our problems in the world. Our blood that we bleed, the red, the bad, the anger. For the wealthy and suicide. And try and lend some help so I don't think too highly of myself and see how much I could contribute to the world, no matter how small, maybe not on a massive scale, but it will multiply. The kindness you give, it will multiply. Yeah, so I don't try and see that we're all in this together, like High School Musical said. To see that we're all one, really, we're one race, and we affect the world as one through billions and trillions and quintillions of reactions. It's a cycle, In my application, I look and fend from self. I'm cold and I want to stop doing this, but I'm going to keep doing this, and I thank you very much if you're still listening to me talk to myself and you. In my application, I look and fend from self. Now I mean application in two ways. In the application that I'm using, one, like the application I'm using to write down this poem that I wrote, and also the application, like how I apply myself to myself, how I apply myself, the application of myself. I applicate myself. I create myself. Okay, we get it, Tavion. You can rhyme. In my application, I look in myself. But in this way, I mean in the applications I use. And fend from self to distract myself. So many distractions. To fend away from myself so I don't eat myself alive, like what I just wrote here. So I don't breed hate the way I was taught, the negativity I would send myself. So I don't breed hate. What do I mean by that? I mean, in this world of hate and neglect and rate, no respect, we judge, we capture it on our phones, and we hold it dearly, selfishly, to ourselves. In America, I don't know about all the other parts of the world, let me just say Minnesota, we bash each other, we let each other down, and if we built each other up, that it would do it, it would go in cycle. But see, we don't have that cycle, we have the complete opposite, the mainstream ways of treating each other, and I can thank that to my iPhone. Read, delivered, sent. And we're taught to be selfish and to not really give to each other as we should. And so we do that to our peers. I'm sorry to whoever I neglected, because that is the cycle that we live under, that neglect. And you know it. You know it. You know it. The rain checks, the blank conversations, the no eye contact, the looking away, the social awkwardness in our conversations. It's going down. We're all going down, guys. It's going down. That hate breeds hate. That's why I said I fend from self in my applications. Kind of losing track here. Just next line. So I don't breed hate the way I was taught, the negativity I would send myself. See, we send ourselves messages of fear, doubt, and worry because the fear voice in us speaks very loudly. I'm just going off of what someone told me, something that I saw on IG. Our fear voice and our scaredy cat voice, the ones that tell us to confide, hide, and don't realize ourselves, it speaks very loudly. And that quiet voice, that quiet intuition, that tells us to be calm, that tells us we are going to be okay, that tells us that we can do it and that we should strive for our best selves. We tend to not listen to that beautiful, flourishing voice because the hate voice, the anger voice in ourselves, that the voice that we are taught to listen to, Hey, Tavion. That's so funny. The voice that we're taught to listen to speaks so loudly that our quiet, lovely voice that we are born with as children, it gets overshadowed. And that's why I say the negativity, I would, because I try not to anymore, even though I know I still do. The negativity, I would send myself. So the hole I dig myself and lay under it and cry and scratch myself and cut myself down. Now this one is for me. I am tired of you bleeding. I want you to represent. Oh, I am tired of you bleeding. I want to see you represent yourself. I am tired of you bleeding out your passion out of the hole in your heart. And I am tired of you beating yourself up and not loving yourself, and instead being afraid of your true passions. And I want to see you represent yourself. I want to see you stand on your own 2 feet, not laying on the bed, not sitting on the couch. I mean representing yourself, standing up, even if it's on a social platform like I'm doing right now, and standing up for your beliefs and who you believe you are, and your passions and the things that you pack in. See, some of us have great feats, but our feats will be fractioned when the world's broken and torn from our repetitive reactions to ourselves. That's stemming off a poem that I wrote. Yes, I want to see that spark in you. I want to see the light in this dark, 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 hellish world. I want to see the light in you. Do you hear me? I want to see you represent yourself and show the world how beautiful you are. I want to see you represent yourself. Hey human, I can see you, and I just sent myself. Hey human is so pretty self-explanatory. I can see you just how I see you. Maybe not first person, but I know that if you're hearing, I see you, you know. And I just sent myself just how I was yelling and talking at a very high value. So I send my message so that maybe you hear me, how I just sent myself. We're almost done here. Can take a break if you want to. I'm not, unfortunately, because of the... Well, fortunately, because I want to get this shit done, so I'm gonna do it. Long time in the tornado, may I ascend myself. I feel like I'm in school right now. Long time in the tornado. I use America and the world we live in like a whirlwind. A whirlwind, just like a cycle, a tornado, in the word I just used in the poem. I see it as a cycle. I see it as a cycle. And the way we treat each other, the way we react off of each other, I see it as a cycle because it is the cycle of life, you know? The Lion King, man. We all saw it. Not all of us, but, you know, it's the circle of life. And the circle of life is just be mean to one another and become defensive because that person was being mean to you. That's really as simple as it is. It's really as simple as it is if you don't see it. I hope you're listening. May I ascend, may I ascend myself. You know, they say no one's gonna save you in this world, you know, no one's gonna really save you from yourself. Like, it's true, no one's gonna save you from yourself. Maybe 50 years ago, maybe 100 years ago, someone would say, hey, you know, are you okay? You know, let's go outside, let's have a walk, you know, let's talk about this shit, about our feelings. But that shit's lame now. I was gonna say the G word, but that's derogatory. Even though sometimes gaming's happy, not in the way we use it anymore. And that is sad. It really is sad. Our derogatory words are words of hate. No more language of hate. Something I said. I mean, something I listened to. He said, it's our turn, us, our leaders, our natural born leaders, to be possibilitators. For us to no longer speak language of hate and doubt and worry. And if you are a self-leader, I know you can hear me. It's time for us to be fearless, you know. It's time for us to step up, especially in these times that we're under now. These times of dis-ease. Thanks to my neighbor for that one. It's time for us to step up to that plate. To stand up and show in our times of need and spread some truth and love on our IG feed. It's time for us to stand up and represent who we are as self-leaders, to represent who we are, to stand up and wave our red flag, our pink flag, our positivity flag, our rainbow flag, our pride flag, to stand for who we are, what we represent, and to show the people that there is no need to be fearless. There is no need to hide. But as sad as it is, as I'm saying that, I feel like I'm speaking to a dead world. A silent world. But in the silent world, I will be loud, and I will speak proud. May in these words you have found inspiration in this troubled nation to maybe have some migration towards positivity and recreation, rebirth, ascension, awake yourself, because we are in slumber, somber, sleep, whatever the word is. Whatever the word is, as long as you know the meaning, as long as you know the reason that I am singing. Mad world we live in, really. Mad world we live in. Tornado is saying myself. From your lovely beating eyes, I reinvent myself. Oh, I'm tired. From your lovely beating eyes. So, your eyes are lovely. If you think yourself ugly, your eyes are lovely. And they are also beating because we love to watch. I love to watch too. I love to watch. We all love to watch. They say we love to watch the world burn. And so from your lovely, yes, lovely, beautiful, that's what I'm saying. There's no harm in your beating eyes. It is still lovely because there's still a reason to why you're looking, why you're beating. Lovely, beautiful, no harm, beating, persistent, always watching. So I know I am always in the spotlight, you know. Lovely beating eyes. I reinvent myself. So, reinvent myself, I constantly modify myself based on your lovely beating eyes, the reactions of the people around me. And to this day, I let it have an effect on myself, and for good or for bad, I reinvent myself anew. We change. I mean, we're literally physically completely new people every 7 years, I think. Fact or fiction, it's true. I believe it. Tired. From overdosing and withdrawals, I will mend myself. Maybe I should take a break. We're almost done. Almost done. Not really at all, but. From overdosing and withdrawals. I did not get there, but I will get there very soon. Overdosing on love, pain, neglect. Alright, I'm getting tired, I'm getting frustrated. If you're with me here, this is where we take a couple deep breaths and restart. It's hard, the beating eyes. And now, from the beating eyes, I reinvent myself. Beautiful poetry. In through the nose! And out through the mouth. I'm gonna give myself 5. I am beautiful. I am cold right now. May I not get frustrated from the cold. May my heart and my mind stay toned. May I go back to my phone. May I continue my soul. Overdosing and withdrawals. From overdosing myself on love that I gave to other people. From overdosing on love from pain that I gave to myself and that I have overdosed from other people. And the withdrawals, the neglect of the love, that primary drug that we need. As I withdraw and get neglected from the love that I need. I reinvent myself. Is that what I said? Yes. Oh, I mend myself. So from the pain of the overdosing and withdrawals, that pain, they say self-healers, they learn their lessons from their own scars. And so I, as a self-healer, take that overdose and withdraw that too much and too little of quote-unquote equilibrium, perfect balance, harmony. I take that imbalance and use it to mend myself because I am aware. Ooh, I'm cold. I'm cold too. But cold is a mindset. Davion. Recovering addict. This one makes me sad. Recovering addict from a very serious drug. I miss you. I do, but I am very grateful Even in my times of misery and missing you, I am still very grateful. Recovering addict from a very serious drug. This drug is love. And I am recovering because I was addicted to a person that I gave my love to, that I took the love from. And love is the most important drug of all. Very serious drug. How addicted I was, how I looked, how addicted I was, how I looked for that sense of okayness in a person, how I fed off them. Euphoria from hugs. I got kind of lazy and didn't really look up what euphoria meant, but I'm pretty sure it's a good thing. That's all I know, really, from hugs. From the physical touch and a hug, for them to give you their love, physically, in an action. It's tragic how we hugged less and less, and loved less and less, into our inevitable end, and rebirth of something new. If you ever hear me, I hope you are well. And I know that I'm not happy, but I know that I'm okay. And it pains me to see you happy, but if you're happy, that's okay. And although I still love you, I watch my love walk away. Damn it, forgot. And although I'm not happy, I know that I'm okay. And it pains me to see you happy, but if you're happy, that's okay. And although I still love you, I saw my love walk away. And now you left me lonely with these problems I must face. And now every day I wake, oh I can't wait, no I can't wait. I can't wait for our love to go away. To this day, it has not gone away, but maybe it never will, but it's a different type of love. And yeah, I guess if the one that will not be mentioned hears me or not, it really doesn't matter, because at least it was said. I miss you. Like I said, this makes me sad. Overdosed on love. This was the line after Euphoria from Hugs. Overdosed on love. That one's pretty self-explanatory. I really, really loved her more than I loved myself. And, yeah. Love for another and neglect myself. I love that person so much that I love that person, and I gave that love that I had, and I did not give it to myself. Ooh, it's gonna be okay, Davion. A broken heart will teach you a very valuable lesson. We're almost done. I put my feelings to the ocean when you need me to send myself. Now this is to her, but it is also for everyone, myself included. I put my feelings to the ocean, so I use the ocean as the endless source, and I guess she was my ocean. I put my feelings to the ocean, but I guess when I wrote this I meant I set them aside. So she was my ocean, but I meant a different type of ocean, as in the void of, I put myself away, I put myself second, I put myself last, actually. When she needed me, when there was ever a problem, I would just throw myself away and just say, go help her, because you want her to be happy. And although that was more in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, the first few years where everything was perfect, it's gonna be okay, JVO. Pain is meant to be felt. Pain is meant to be felt. When you need me to send myself, when you call for me, when I see that you are in need, to send myself, to give you myself, I always would. Look where that got me. Thank you. Thank you, my previous lover. Gave you my feelings, the worth in myself. I just talked about that. Gave her everything of my feelings of self-help and aiding. And that is the worth in myself. Myself being the self-healer, the one to jump to a problem instead of look at it and then throw it away. Then you threw me from the ceiling, and I saw the worst in myself. When she broke up with me, when she metaphorically threw me from the ceiling, I did see the worst in myself. I saw how much, oh my God, thank God it's over. In a way, it is what it is, thank God it's over. Not really though. Not really though, but at the same time, yeah. I did see the worst in myself. I saw how dependent on a person I was, the person that was not myself. So thank you for letting me go and letting me see myself. Ooh, it hurts. And I did see the worst in myself, how codependent of a person I was, how much I neglected myself. Why do I neglect myself? How much I didn't really care about myself, and how I did care about myself, but how I put that care in another person. But a Saiyan fights as hard as he was hurt himself. In this anime I would watch called Dragon Ball Z, when a Saiyan gets beat up. This is very genius by the creators, actually, now that I think about it. Because we are all Super Saiyans. When a Saiyan gets beat up, he becomes as strong as the battle he faced. And that is fucking genius, because that's how a smart person will take a beating. He will learn from it, and he will make his beating his lesson. And the saints that are still praying were beaten first in hell. I don't believe in God. Sorry, mother, and father too. I'm not like you. But I use the saints as in the good people that are still praying, that are still breathing, and that are still believing. Were beaten first in hell. You know, you have to go through something until you can realize what you've been through and use that as your power. I can't believe I'd say thank you to the ghost of my abuse. And the ghost of my abuse is every person that has abused me in their hurtful ways, whether you noticed or not. Not all of you. So I never thought I'd say thank you, especially because I say thank you to the one person I held dearly most. That truly was the first person that was the ghost of my abuse. And I never thought I'd say thank you and have a boast to you. And when I say thank you, I mean me speaking right now, me being alive, is saying thank you to myself. And saying thank you to you and have a boast, to brag. People brag in their dumb ways of showing off their cars and clothes, and I did too. I love my Mustang. To you, a boast to you. To you as in all of us, a boast, to brag to myself, to be proud of myself, to be proud of you too. Cold as fuck, wanna go inside? Relax. Stretch. Do some exercise and healthy shit like that, because I'm on a different path. Although I hit the floor, I know there is more. One day I will find my love, my amour. Maybe they're watching this, he or she, bisexual, I am non-binary. If my brother heard that, well, you heard it, brother. You too, mother, father, lover. Ooh. Feel like I can't talk to that person. Hear me or hear not, may I see you again. But this time I fear not. To my viewers, have a wonderful day. I hope you heard the message from Tay. I hope my rhymes are not annoying, 'cause at least I'm speaking and not destroying. Drink water, drink plenty of water. I recommend meditation. I recommend you read some of my IG posts. A lot of inspiration. God, Tavion, stop rhyming. No, I can't. It's perfect timing. It's being alive. It's not dying. It's searching. It's finding. Alright, you guys get a little encore. I did some ecstasy. And I think drugs are a test of fate. That's a video for another date. But, damn, I feel like it really woke me up in a way. As much as I overdosed from it, I think it really woke me up in a way. Told me to say what I previously was afraid to say. I feel like once I overdosed and took it, even though I feel the drop of serotonin sometimes, I feel like I'm always on it. And to be honest, I feel like all the liquor I've drunk and the THC that I've used, I feel like I'm always on it. Drugs, they're not for everyone. Gotta have a strong mind, you gotta be in a good place to do it. And I feel like a lot of us aren't really in a good place at all. So of course drugs aren't gonna help, Of course it's gonna hurt. An hour? Good job, Tay. That was pretty good. I made a goddamn movie. That's because I am a movie. Although I feel like I am always the main character in every movie? That's because I am a movie. This movie was 55 minutes long. I am a movie, and I am beautiful, and you are too. And I just want you to see that. 24th subscriber special, bitches. Alright, I wanted to do it. I'm gonna do it. Even though I might be ugly. I'm a little ugly, but it's okay. I'm not that ugly. I was gonna lay in the snow. It's snowing here in Minnesota. It's April and this snow is so cold. Ooh, it's so cold. Whew. Bye. Freezing. Ooh.